Every story leaves a mark. Some are carved into stone. Others become stone themselves, standing silent for ages beneath the open sky. This is Simple Tales. Long ago, in the age when gods still walked beside mortals, there lived a young man named Perseus. He was brave. But bravery alone was not enough for the task that awaited him. Far across the world lived Medusa. Once she had been beautiful, but fate and divine punishment had transformed her into something terrible. Serpents twisted where her hair had once been. Her face inspired such horror that any living creature who looked directly upon it was instantly turned to stone. No sword could protect a man from her gaze. No shield could stop it. To see Medusa was to die. And yet, Perseus was commanded to bring back her head. Many believed it was an impossible task. Some believed it was a death sentence. Perseus accepted it anyway. Before he departed, the gods took notice. Athena, goddess of wisdom, gave him a polished bronze shield. Its surface shone like still water. Hermes, swift messenger of the gods, gifted him winged sandals that carried him through the air. Other divine gifts followed. A magical pouch to hold the Gorgon's head, and a helmet that could render its wearer invisible. Perseus accepted each gift with gratitude, for he understood something important. This was not an enemy that could be defeated by strength alone. It would require preparation, wisdom, and caution. His journey carried him across distant lands and unknown seas. He crossed deserts where no grass grew. He climbed mountains hidden among clouds. At last, he reached the edge of the world where Medusa and her sisters dwelled. Even before he found their lair, he saw signs of what awaited him. Stone figures stood scattered across the landscape. Warriors frozen in mid-stride, travelers locked forever in expressions of terror. Animals turned to rock where they had fallen. Some statues looked centuries old, others seemed almost new. Each one told the same story. Someone had come seeking Medusa. None had returned. Perseus moved carefully among them. The silence felt unnatural. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. Even the wind seemed reluctant to enter that cursed place. At last he found the cavern. Inside lay the 3 Gorgons. Monstrous, ancient, deadly. But only Medusa could be killed. And only Medusa slept. Perseus knew the danger. One careless glance would end everything. So he raised Athena's shield before him. Instead of looking directly ahead, he watched the reflection. The bronze surface showed him the cavern behind him. The shapes of the sleeping Gorgons. The cold stone floor. The faint movement of serpents coiling and uncoiling in their sleep. Step by step, he advanced. never looking directly, never lowering the shield. The cave seemed to grow quieter with every step. His breathing sounded loud in his own ears. The polished bronze reflected Medusa more clearly now. The snakes stirred. One lifted its head, then settled again. Perseus tightened his grip upon his sword. A single mistake would be his last. He moved closer. Closer still. At last, he stood within striking distance. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause. All around him stood the remains of those who had failed. All around him lingered the weight of countless unfinished journeys. Then Perseus struck. The blade flashed, one clean blow, and Medusa's head fell. The cavern erupted into chaos. The immortal Gorgon sisters awoke instantly. Their cries echoed through the darkness. The ground trembled beneath their fury. Perseus seized the head and placed it within the magical pouch. Then he pulled the helmet of invisibility over his head. The enraged sisters searched everywhere. They clawed at the air. They swept through the cavern. But they could not find him. Hidden by divine magic, Perseus escaped. Only when he was far from the lair did he finally stop. The impossible task had been completed, yet the strangest part of the story remained. Death had not ended Medusa's power. Even severed from her body, her gaze retained its terrible gift. The Gorgon's head could still turn living creatures to stone. In the years that followed, Perseus would use it sparingly. Not for conquest, not for glory, but when all other options had failed. And so he returned home carrying one of the most dangerous objects in the world. A reminder that some powers remain potent long after their source is gone. The ancient Greeks told this story for many reasons. Some saw a tale of courage, others saw a lesson in preparation. For Perseus succeeds not because he is the strongest hero, he succeeds because he understands the challenge before him. He listens. He prepares. He uses wisdom where brute force would fail. And perhaps that is why the story still endures. Because not every monster can be faced directly. Sometimes the only way forward is through patience, clear thinking, and the courage to keep moving when others have already turned back. Thank you for listening to Perseus and Medusa. If you enjoyed this tale from Greek mythology, please like the video, subscribe to Simple Tales, and share it with others who love myths, legends, and timeless stories. Until our next journey into the world's timeless tales, thank you for listening.